Hey guys, what's going on? It's David here from Scizorxphlosion, and today we got y'all Lapras GX. This is another deck profile, guys. Lapras GX. People are saying it's probably one of the most powerful water type Pokemon in the format right now. And I gotta tell you guys, this is swiftly becoming one of my favorite decks. Lapras, I always call it the water type Buzzwole. It basically does the same thing Buzzwole does. It has a 2 retreat cost just like Buzzwole, 190 HP just like Buzzwole, but the only difference is the first attack and the GX attack and the weakness. So, Lapras, well, what does it do? It is a 190 HP Pokemon with 2 retreat costs, as we explained, water type, weakness to grass, and it has 3 attacks. Collect, which lets you draw 3 cards, and then Blizzard Burn, which does the exact same amount as Buzzwole's attack and has the exact same effect. And then we've got Ice Beam GX. But you know what, guys? We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's get started on the deck profile before I just start explaining everything. Y'all be sure and subscribe if you're new. Like this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. And without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile, guys. Oh, by the way, y'all be sure and support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Scizorxphlosion. And then our Facebook is www.facebook.com/Scizorxphlosion. I'll leave links in the comments section below, or in the description below, rather. But without further ado, guys, let's get on to it. So to start off, we got 3 copies of Lapras GX. Lapras GX, as I just explained, is a pretty powerful Pokemon. It has 190 HP, 2 retreat cost, weakness to grass, water type. With the attack Collect, which lets you draw 3 cards. It's really good in the early setup of the game. Instead of jet punching, like Buzzwole does, you can let yourself draw 3 cards and hopefully next turn get set up even better than you already are. So Collect is a pretty decent attack. But your main attack here is Blizzard Burn. For 3 waters, does 160 damage. This Pokemon cannot attack on the next turn. So just like Buzzwole's Knuckle Impact, just name something different. And then we've got Ice Beam GX with a decent GX attacking option in this deck. For water colorless, does 100 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Pretty awesome attack. It is not the only GX attack we do have in this deck. We have another one that we can use. Which is the one we'd rather pull off than Ice Beam. But Ice Beam can come in handy sometimes. So there we go, guys. Starting out, 3 copies of Lapras GX. Next up, we got 2 copies of Wooper. Wooper is, well, not Wooper, but Quagsire is a very essential part to this deck. Wooper's got 70 HP and a couple 2 attacks, but you really don't use very often. You do have a 1 retreat cost, which is nice. And retreating energy sometimes isn't that big of a deal in this deck. We can easily get it back with things like Aqua Patch, one of the best water support cards in the format. So, 2 copies of Wooper. And then Wooper is just a stepping stone, as most of these Pokemon are, to 2 copies of Quagsire. Quagsire, believe it or not, guys, I think it is probably the best thing to come out of Dragon Majesty. And Quagsire is a very great Pokemon. 120 HP, a little bit on the low side. I do wish it was 130. 130 is a lot better than 120. But anyway, he makes up for it, more than makes up for it, with his ability and his attack. So, his ability here is called Washout. It says, as often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may move a water energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. Really awesome. You have some awesome plays you could do with this ability. You could Aqua Patch onto your bench Pokemon and then use Washout to move those to the active. Or you could Guzma out. Say you have a Lapras that's been injured. You could Guzma it out of the active, bring in a new Lapras or something else that you could use to attack. Then move all those energies from Lapras onto the new Pokemon. Pretty awesome combos. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with Quagsire. He's even a decent attacker. Hydro Pump does 60 damage, plus 20 more damage times the amount of water energies attached to him. So with 3, you hit 120, which is great numbers. But you can even buff him up even more, make him hit even higher numbers. So Quagsire has a lot of uses. He's really, really strong, and he's what makes this deck. There are a couple cards in here that make this deck, but Quagsire is definitely one of them. So 2 copies of Quagsire. Next up, guys, we got 1 copy of Volcanion Prism Star. Volcanion Prism Star is awesome. I love this card. It is so good, and so much better than I gave it credit for when it first came out. So a couple of good things about Volcanion is he's got 160 HP, which is a great HP to have as a basic non-GX Pokemon. Really hard to hit that number. Then you've got an ability and an attack here. So the ability Jet Geyser is awesome. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may discard a water energy from your hand. If you do, your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. This is really good. It's basically an escape rope only for your opponent, and it allows you to do one of two things. You can get, or allows you to do two different things, rather. You can get a Pokemon that's threatening you out of the active and make your opponent bring up something else. And you can also get water energy to the discard pile for your Aqua Patches. Pretty awesome combos there. Then you got the Sonoblast attack, which is really, really strong, especially in combination with Lapras. For 3 water energies, it does 100 damage, and then it does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So pretty strong. Chips away at all your opponent's bench and hits some pretty high damage on your opponent's active, softening everything up for Lapras. So there you go, 1 copy of Volcanion Prism Star. A couple other one-ofs we have in here, guys. We've got 1 copy of Kyogre. This is the Kyogre from Celestial Storm, the new one. And the reason we play him in here is he's got that awesome 130 HP, which is really great for a basic non-GX Pokemon. Just out of KO range for things like Zoroark, which is going to keep on seeing a lot of play. So, we've got 2 attacks, which are both very decent. Dual Splash is probably your best thing. It does 30 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Any 2 Pokemon of your choice of your opponent's. So Dual Splash takes water colorless, and you can choose any 2 of your Pokemon. So you can make it like Jet Punch, where you hit the active and the bench, or you just hit 2 on the bench. So pretty awesome to get some early chip damage in. He's a very good lead for this deck. He does have that massive 4 retreat cost. That is really, really high. But anyway, next attack is Grand Wave, 120 damage, and he cannot attack on the next turn. It's decent. Most of the time you want to go for Dual Splash, though. He's also a very good bench sitter for some other cards we have in this deck. So 1 copy of Kyogre. I play 1 copy of Oranguru in here as well. With the Instructability, once during your turn, before you attack, you may draw till you have 3 cards in your hand. Really strong. Able to refresh your hand if you've emptied it down. There's a lot of ways to empty your hand in this deck. You have Volcanion Prism Star, you have Ultra Ball, things like that. And the Instructability can come in handy to refresh your hand. Maybe get you another Aqua Patch or Acrobike or something like that. Then we've also got Psychic, which is a decent non-GX attacking option. But honestly, I think there are better non-GX attacking options in this deck. You've got Volcanion, you've got Kyogre, you've got Quagsire. That's about all we've got. But the Psychic can be used in attack if you need to. But most of the time, we're going to go for something else. So, there we go. 1 copy of Oranguru. And then the other GX attacking option in this deck, guys, is Palkia GX. Palkia GX, 1 copy. He's got 180 HP. And we're using the Dragon-type one. And the main reason is, well, I guess it's up to personal preference. I like it because it's a separate weakness for most of your deck. Everything in your deck besides Oranguru and Volcanion is weak to grass. And if we played the Water Palkia, it'd be weak to grass as well. This gives us an alternate attacking option that is not weak to grass. It's weak to fairies instead of Dragon type. So, I chose to run the Dragon type. If you do run the Water type, you can search it out with Brooklet Hill. You can Aqua Patch to it. But honestly, most of the other Pokemon in your deck are Water types that you can Aqua Patch onto, then use Quagsire to move your energies to them. So, up to you guys which version of Palkia GX you want to use. I have elected for the Dragon type, though. But let me go over Palkia's stats. He's got 180 HP, 3 retreat cost, and 3 attacks. His Spatial Control attack for 1 water energy lets you move as many energy from your bench Pokemon to this Pokemon. This attack probably won't see a lot of play just because we do have Quagsire, and he does the exact same thing, which is not an attack, it's an ability. So, most of the time we're going to be going for Hydro Pressure or the GX attack. Hydro Pressure for 3 water energies, or 3 colorless energies, does 60 damage plus 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. It's Quagsire's attack, exactly the same. So, with 3 waters you hit 120, then 140 with 4, 160 with 5. So, I mean, you can hit some pretty decent numbers. But the biggest reason we play this Pokemon in this deck is for his GX attack. Zero Vanish GX. 3 water energies and 2 colorless energies. Very, very high cost, but it can be done. I've been able to pull off this GX attack. Zero Vanish hits for 150 damage, and you get to shuffle all energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon into their deck. Can you imagine using this attack against Rayquaza? That would just mess them up so bad, especially if you have something like 9 or 10 energies on board. Then they have to shuffle all that right back in, and then you just sit there and laugh. Yeah. Palkia GX is a very, very powerful Pokemon when used under the correct circumstances. So, up to you guys which version you want to play, but I have elected to play the Dragon type. And the last Pokemon in this deck we play is one copy of Tapu Lele GX with that Wonder Tag ability to get you those supporters when you need them. And then you've also got Energy Drive, which can be useful. You can use Quagsire's ability to move those water energies to Tapu Lele in order to use Energy Drive. But honestly, I haven't attacked much with Tapu Lele when I use this deck. And honestly, I don't play Tapu Lele down all that much. We do have ways around Tapu Lele in here. She's just there if we really need her. So, one copy of Tapu Lele. And that's it for the Pokemon, guys. Let's get on to our supporter cards. 4 copies of Cynthia, the basic draw supporter for any Pokemon deck. Shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards. Then next up, guys, we play 4 copies of Guzma. 4 in here because mobility is very important. You have a lot of Pokemon in this deck with a very high retreat cost, or at least a decently high retreat cost. Nothing is under a 2 with the exception of Wooper and Tapu Lele. So, and discarding water energies could be bad. You don't want to discard energies if you can help it, so Guzma is there to help you. Also to help you take down some of your opponent's Pokemon that are becoming a threat that are on the bench. So, 4 copies of Guzma. 4 copies of Lily. We play the up count of 4 because we do only play 1 Tapu Lele in our deck, and most of the time we want to draw supporter in a hand as often as possible. So Lily is just great. I mean, you discard your hand a lot in this deck. You do have Volcanion Prism Star's ability. You also have Ultra Ball. You have things like Acrobike in order to dig for things like your Aqua Patches. So your hand's going to be pretty small most of the time. And Lily is there to help you refresh it whenever you need to. For those of you who don't know, draw till you have 6 cards in your hand. If it's your first turn, draw till you have 8. It also ups the chances of us drawing it in our hand in our first turn as well. And the last supporter we play, guys, is 2 copies of Professor Kukui. Kukui's really good in this deck. It can help Lapras hit that 180, or if it has a choice band, hit 210, able to knock out things like Zoroark and Golisopod. Golisopod is a very big threat to this deck. Although it does not see a whole lot of play, I know it made a showing at one of the regional championships not too long ago. But honestly, I don't think it's seeing a whole lot of play at the moment. But if it does rear its ugly head towards Lapras, you can attach a choice band and play this Kukui and take down that Golisopod. That's right. Kukui's awesome. Also gets a couple extra cards for the draw. And that's it for the draw supporters, guys. We've got 4 copies of Ultra Ball to start the items, the basic searching for any deck, or any Pokemon deck. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Then we've got 4 copies of Aqua Patch. I love this card. Aqua Patch has been so good ever since it's come out, and I've never made a water deck without it. I love Aqua Patch. It's awesome. I loved Dark Patch back when it was out, and now Aqua Patch has replaced it. You can attach a basic water energy from your discard pile to one of your benched water Pokemon. Really strong for getting those energies, great energy acceleration. Lapras does miss max elixir since it has rotated, but Aqua Patch is awesome too. You can use Aqua Patch also in combination with your Quagsire, as I mentioned before, to get a water energy from the discard pile, attach it to one of your benched water Pokemon, then use Quagsire's washout ability to move it to your active. So really good energy acceleration. You can have a Lapras ready to attack by turn 2. Awesome, awesome stuff. Really cool. So 4 copies of Aqua Patch. 3 copies of Choice Band. Choice Band's very important in here to help us hit that magic 190 number. With so many Pokemon over 170 or above, Lapras is just out of range to hit those numbers. And you need Choice Band, you need Volcanion to spread his damage with Sonoblast, or even Kyogre to get them early spread as well, to make your knockouts as easy as you can for your Lapras. So Choice Band is there as another option over Volcanion and Kyogre. So there we go. 3 copies of Choice Band. And an absolutely essential card to this deck. Since Field Blower has seen a very big decrease in play, we are playing 4 copies of Experience Share. Experience Share, some of you may not know what it does, but it's a Pokemon tool, and it says when your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you may move 1 basic energy card from that Pokemon to the Pokemon this card is attached to. So basically, it lets you keep your water energies on board if your active is knocked out. So you have a Lapras in the active, it's got 3 energies on it, and you've got 2 experience shares attached to 2 Quagsires. Your Lapras gets knocked out, move 1 of those energies from your Lapras to Quagsire, then move the other one to the other Quagsire. There you go. You got 2 energies on board, all you need is an attach from hand, and you can already have another Lapras charged up since you got the washout ability. Really awesome card and really great in this deck, and is essential to this deck's function. If Experience Share wasn't here, this deck would have a little bit harder time. And if Field Blower increases in play, that could hurt this strategy as well. 2 copies of Acrobike. Acrobike's there to help you dig through your deck and dig for those cards that you need. It's really good for discarding water energies. Hopefully, like the best Acrobike ever would be a water energy and an Aqua Patch. Discard the water energy, use the Aqua Patch to get it back. And it also, I mean, just like I mentioned, getting water energies to the discard pile is really great in the early turns of the game, so you can use your Aqua Patches to charge up your Pokemon. So there we go, guys. 2 copies of Acrobike. 2 copies of Switch. Switch is great in this deck because you need that mobility, and also Lapras is kind of stuck in the active after it attacks. Its ability says the Blizzard Burn is just like Buzzwole GX's attack. It can attack on the next turn, but if you retreat to the bench and bring it back to the active, you could go switch Guzma, or even switch in a fresh Lapras. Use Washout to move those energies to the new Lapras, and then start attacking with Blizzard Burn. So, I know some people play Escape Rope in this instance. I have elected to go for Switch, but at y'all's discretion, use whichever one you like better. And to end off the Atom cards, guys, we got 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher to get those Pokemon back. Sometimes early game we have to discard things, like I know I've discarded my Palkia early game, and if I ever get the chance, if I got 5 water energies on board, I'll use Rescue Stretcher, get that Palkia back, and then go for the Zero Vanish GX. So, yeah. For those who don't know, put a Pokemon from discard pile into your hand, or you may shuffle 3 Pokemon from discard pile into your deck. We do play a stadium in this deck, guys, and that is Brooklet Hill. Why not? Why would you not play it? Once per turn, or once during each player's turn, that player may search the deck for a basic water or a basic fighting Pokemon, put it onto their bench, and then shuffle their deck. Really awesome for getting your Laprases, your Whoopers, your Volcanions down, getting that board set up, and getting your evolutions started. Well, you really only have 1 evolution, but it is probably one of the most important evolutions you need to obtain. So Brooklet Hill is there to help you out. It is an awesome card. It makes the consistency of this deck even better. So there we go, guys. 3 copies of Brooklet Hill. And to end off the deck, you got 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 water energies. A lot of water energies, but we need the water energies because we have Acrobikes. We need to get those energies to the discard pile. We need to get early discards with things like Ultra Ball in order to fill up our discard pile with water energies for those Aqua Patch plays. Excuse me. And also, it ups the chances of you having it in your hand nearly every turn. So if you do happen to have to retreat a Pokemon, you can have a water energy in order to replenish that energy you had to retreat off. But there it is, guys, the list. This is the list here, and I hope you guys like it. I got a brand new stand for my camera, so it's you guys are able to see the list a whole lot better. So y'all be sure and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. We are doing another giveaway once we reach 200 subscribers, so y'all stay tuned for that. We're going to be giving away an Elite Trader box of whatever the current set is at the time that we reach 200 subscribers. We reach it next month, we'll be giving away an Elite Trainer box of Lost Thunder. If we reach it by February, we'll be giving away a Elite Trainer box of Team Up, the next set coming out in February. So, anyway, Elite Trainer box giveaway at 200 subscribers, so you guys stay tuned for that. Like, comment, subscribe, and this is David from Scizorxphlosion, and we will see you guys all next time.